Well, you heard the Papa, Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Winley. Partner with us, pray for us, and stay with us right here on Dominion TV. Away from the headlines on international and local news, we want to delve deep into the issues now. And then we have in studio, Pastor Paddy. He doesn't even need an introduction, does he? And then Reverend Xavier. Good morning.
Good morning.
So
don't say anything.
Koku's house has flooded. Koku's house has flooded. That's what to say. He said he's sick.
I knew
You should call in. You should call in and say that my house is not flooded and he should hang up. Koku, call us and say that, oh, hello, my house is not flooded. Hang up.
I know, right? Because Koku actually doesn't like it when you talk about his area where he lives and all that. He's like,
the
that's a place
Awudome area.
big.
Is it Awudome, right?
No, please don't mention Awudome. Oh, don't do that.
It's Awudome.
He says it's where the big boys are. He gets it, yeah.
Not flooding, no.
Lights out. We don't know. Koku, have you been swept by the flood? Just let us know, please.
The market's buying new sofa. Why?
I tell you. Anyway, lots of things happening. Lots of things. We're talking about the flood. I think that we can just delve into that real quick. GMET
Charlie
is saying that this is just a tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
Hey,
There's going to be more rains.
Yes.
Ghana Meteorological.
Yes.
Oh,
There's going to be more
are there where we
rains.
don't believe them like that?
Oh, but I can tell you for a fact that most of when you look at the reports that our weatherman
forecast,
gives us, it is true. I mean,
To a great
and
extent.
yes, I mean, even yesterday, the rains that we had were all the way from Cameroon, so that this is just like a wind that blew. So it's like this is like an aftermath of the real rain. It was really heavy.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're ready for these things. Do you think we are?
It's a good question. It's a good question. I don't know. Yesterday, I saw somebody swimming home. There's a video. I saw somebody was swimming home. A mode of transport has changed. Now I think we need to add canoes and other things to our mode of transport. Because it's very easy for the guy. He was swimming home happily to his house, somewhere on the Hacho area there. And then these things happen year on year. And I think President Mahama hinted at it when he came first.
Right.
And he wanted to do something before these things started.
Very true. I remember that.
Yes, and he was very emphatic on it. He was on it. Charlie, let's do something. No, May, June, July is coming. We didn't do now the May, June, July has come. So I think for this year, they will have to manage the situation. And the NADMO chief says 4 people have died.
Yes, so far, and 3,000 houses.
Yes, 3,000 have been displaced.
Displaced.
And I watched some of the videos of a whole story building. The ground floor was submerged. The entire ground floor, they're gone, submerged. And the top floor, the rain was entering, and the woman was just in distress. Because if you open the door, the water comes in full force. Where do you go? If you close the door, it's coming from under the door. And she didn't know what to do. And some of these distressing situations can be avoided. The way we plan our cities, where we sell the lands. Look, I always say, if you want to go house hunting, you're looking for a new place,
do it during the rainy season. That's very
true.
true.
You know the road to your house. now. Because if you go look for a house in December, November, you're feeling orgy. I was surprised to see Redco had flooded. Redco. There's something going on that we can't really explain. The Pantine area here was because of a clogged gutter.
Yes.
And so they sealed that, and then the rain was able to find a way to pass. But whatever the case is, I think NADMO should be a bit more proactive. Yesterday, the NADMO chief was saying they are a bit under-resourced. But this is a very wrong time to say you're under-resourced.
And that's actually my problem. I don't know why NADMO all my life, NADMO only shows up when it rains.
Right.
We should be seeing NADMO before rains. What's happening? Are we desilting the gutters? Are we clearing the paths? Who is building in a waterway? How is that going to affect us? I mean, yesterday, Koku and I were talking about the fact that the hotel, Kufuor's Hotel, what's the
Hotel
name?
was-
Yeah,
It's actually built.
African Regent.
Yes, it's actually built on a waterway.
Really?
So when you because I was advising people that if you have to change your routes because it's a rainy season, if you have to go through somewhere shashi thereabout, you would have to change your routes because the moment it rains, that whole place is
Gets
flooded.
flooded.
And then he was saying that Reverend BB was talking about the fact that that whole area, there's not supposed to be a building there.
Shiashi. Hey, I said it in Zoom. We are the one more time for power test.
I tell you.
Wow.
Right? So something must be done, seriously. And
Disaster
we expect
management
people-
is preventive, right?
You see,
It
the,
is.
the whole thing is, we see it in a very, I think 2 days ago, I passed around the lakeside area and I was sad because a lot of buildings got submerged.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of people's walls broken, and apart from the devastating effect of it, it tells you, because yesterday I was driving and it started raining.
Your car is
From-
big, so I mean, everywhere anyway.
In
Me,
fact,
my car, me and the car, oh, we would.
the truth of it is that because of what happened, you see, the panic, so I have to park somewhere because you don't know where you are heading towards.
that's right.
Because sometimes the road gets submerged, you can just be swept away. So it's something that we just have to look at it that, it's as a result of it. But this is a very serious thing that can happen to anyone at all. So I think the authorities should come in swiftly. Any building that has been built on a waterway should be demolished. You know, apart from the
That's
pain.
simple.
No, it looks simple, but the question is, if because of one building, 3,000 people are displaced, 4 lives are lost because you have decided, one person has decided to build on a runway that could have made the water to pass. I don't think this is wickedness. You see, the authorities should be proactive. How is the building authorities working? Because before you build, you go for building permit. The surveyors come to survey your area before they give you the permit. So if these people have received authorized permission to build on places that are meant for water to pass, then I think there's a big problem.
And if they have documents, then now
They have documents.
that questions the
authority.
credibility,
The credibility of
the authorities.
the authorities.
You know, the thing is extending to Kumasi.
Yes.
Kumasi didn't have a flooding problem, but now they do. Airport Junction was flooded. Kumasi Airport Junction, which I know very well, it was flooded, and that wasn't even the bad part. The amount of rubbish that was floating in the water, it just goes to show how interconnected all the things are. You refuse to dispose properly of your rubbish, it's going to clog the gutters, and then it's going to cause flooding. So it goes back to little habits. You know, gone are the days when we used to have NCC campaigns on TV, and when the Vice President Alhaji Aliyu Mahama had, what do you call that thing now? Campaign against indiscipline.
Indiscipline, yeah.
Intolerance for discipline. And so they were showing us how very evil. I mean, it was painted as a heinous crime for you to drink pure water and put
And
it on the
drop
floor.
it.
Hey, it's like you, the whole world, you.
But where are we now?
Now it's so. I was driving behind a certain driver, a La Paz, kept spitting out of the window.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, why? Why? Many times I will see Trotsky's passing. Somebody will throw something out of the window, a tied polythene, will throw something. And right now, to the drivers have also versed. They say, don't eat in their car and don't drop rubbish.
Exactly. When you pick a boat,
Yes.
all
Don't
these
eat in the car,
Ubers.
don't drop rubbish in the car. So then it's almost like you have no option than to throw it outside. All these things, I think, should be revived. The NCC campaigns on indiscipline, because you don't expect people to do stuff that they are not even aware are wrong. Culturally speaking, there are certain things that we've allowed and are so ordinary, and even in church,
Right.
Kairos Hall, when people finish weddings, or sometimes even after church services,
It's sad.
you will see
It's sad. It's
bottles
really sad.
of water. I don't know if you have
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
see bottles of water, gum under the seat.
Oh my God, that thing checks me.
Those little behaviors that we have contribute to these big disasters that we
That's
see.
right.
We have to be serious.
Well, so there you have it. It's not just about the authorities anymore. It is everyone's contribution to this. We're
This is
all
bad.
contributors to these things. If you drink water, you can just drop it anywhere.
Look at it.
Right. I don't even know what happened to, there was this thing that was going on, I think, around the business centers where first Saturday of every month,
Yeah,
Clean
there's
up.
sanitation. Yeah. The
what
cleanup
happens to that?
exercise.
It was killed. I think, again, the president says he's bringing that thing back.
Oh,
where
then he
every
has to
month,
real fast.
communities will have to now start to clean
Real
up.
fast.
Everybody
We need
should
it.
clean your frontage. Clean your frontage. And let's move. Let's desil the gutters. And now, one of the problems that we have is landfills.
Okay.
Where we can actually finally put all the rubbish. And then also, these garbage trucks. Some of our roads are so poor that even with the layouts that we have in the ordinary areas, they are unable to access the areas. So getting the rubbish to the garbage trucks who send them to the landfills is
It's
a
also
problem.
an issue.
And so we rely on these
Aboboya.
Aboboya ones.
yeah.
Those ones too, they come, but not all areas. We need to have a proper sewage and
Sanitation,
disposal
yes.
system, exactly. And otherwise, look, when you go to some of these other communities that are less popular, that are not so cosmopolitan and so urban, like maybe Sunyani, do you ever hear of flooding in those areas?
No, thank you very much.
Exactly. I shouldn't even have people the way yourself as scam.
Yeah, I know, right? Like my smile just went all the way. But you may never know what's happening also there because there's a bit of, diversity.
They can't flood though. The spirits are very
development.
active there.
It's not about the spirit.
Well, one place that I really love their planning is Akosombo.
Yeah, Kosombo
The
is very.
town plan is just beautiful. Really, really, really beautiful. And that is because it was done by VRA.
But I
not
think
done
apart
by-
from this, I was thinking, apart from Zoom Lion, okay, there should be other private entities that should also take up sanitation issues because there used to be a time you see people from Zoom Lion going from place to cleaning and
Yeah,
other things.
cleaning,
So I
sweeping
think the
the
private
streets.
sector should also be engaged
Yes,
and
yes,
other entities should also come in to help with the sewage system in the country.
Yeah, that's quite sad. We're talking about our own activities. Let's get into demolition exercise. Started in Kumasi. People were for it. Koku said he was going to give to
The
18 bags.
decongestion,
Yes, the
decongesting.
decongestion of the market
Markets.
areas and all of that. Now, the traders are going to be fined 2,000 cedis.
serious. Let's be serious. That's not a realistic amount. Let's be very serious in the country. What trader will you arrest on the pavement and say, bring 2,000? If I have 2,000, you think I'll be selling on pavement? Let's be. Then you're not going to congest the
Oh, you may
prison.
never know how much these people make. You would be shocked.
Even if they do, Yadela, they are on the pavement for crying out loud.
Some people are there because they feel like it brings them closer to customers, not because they cannot afford stores. That's another thing we need to look at because some people feel like, okay, the customer will have to come all the way into the market
Right.
to the store.
Right.
But you are coming this way. They might meet 3, 4, 5 shops before me.
So our laziness also contributes.
Exactly. So it's not because they cannot afford stores alone.
Right.
It is also because some of them feel like, okay, it's easier, it's quite accessible.
It's more accessible to
that's-
You understand? And the moment your sister puts a store there, okay, she's able to sell this amount, why not? Let me just move.
Right.
That's some of the reason why people are on the street. So it's more for selfish gains if you're looking at it like that. And so I also wish that they don't attack this thing with emotional whatever. Okay, where do you want us to go? This is our livelihood.
I don't think the 2K fine is realistic at all.
Really?
Well,
It should be more?
Sometimes when you, like for instance, it's like saying anybody who talks in class will be sacked from the school. Yo, bro, it's not gonna happen. You are just saying something to scare me, so I don't talk in class.
I know.
I will talk in class.
You
can't
look like
sack
someone
me.
who will be giving double punishment.
Bad boys at the back is Kogulumo, the bad boys at the back.
Yeah.
The funny thing is that the 2K, what is the guarantee for the 2K? How is the fine constitutionalized? Is it just
Just to
a
scare
slip
them.
to scare them?
or-
Is it apart from when you look at what is happening? When I look at the news, I was excited because someone was saying yesterday that he never knew there was a route even around the Accra because the whole place is.
It's true. It's always congested.
It's just congested, and when you go to Accra, for instance, you may virtually spend about an hour or two
Trying to-
just to leave the fire service, the police headquarters area because the whole place is being choked by traders. So I think it's a good thing they are doing, but the question is sustainability.
Yeah.
We have witnessed some of these things over the years.
Oh.
They drive them,
They come back.
they come back.
with full force.
They go, they come back, and it's an issue of how will this exercise be sustained. Despite, I heard the mayor saying that, well, it is not just a 9-day wonder. But the truth is that we've seen it over the years. So we hope this thing is maintained. But one contradictory statement he made was that he said they are going to find a day to let them also come back.
Trade on it. You said because of the 24-hour economy.
You see, this is a culture system. This is something that they have done over the years. And you are trying to get them out of the street, change it.
don't
And now
bend
you are
the
telling them
rules.
that there's going to be days that they will come back to the street. So it's a whole contradiction.
Yeah.
So if you are really putting them at a place that they will have a permanent place
Right.
for whatever business they are doing, let them be there. Let the public know that
This is
if
where
I
they are,
need
yeah.
Wachi, this is where I must go.
Right.
If I need to buy shoes, this is where I must go. This is what is done elsewhere. So you don't just create, okay, I'm removing them, maybe 2 days' time, you can come back to the street. That means you are already contradicting yourself.
That's right.
So I think this is something that must be sustained, but with them coming back, another thing, I think you shouldn't even have made that statement.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, no, Director DNA Ato posted a video on his status the other day, and it was a video of Accra Central. And you see, the congestion has made movement so difficult. That now criminals and bad boys have taken advantage.
Yes, I saw that video.
Yes, so then when you are passing on the road, because of the congestion, you're unable to move so quickly. And then the time when your windows are down, they come and take whatever valuable they can get. And they injure you in the process sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, we are holding pen knives and stuff like that. So they scare you with a pen knife, probably stab you with it. And while you're trying to manage the wound, they take your phone, your laptop, whatever they can manage. And many of these cars don't have ACs, or sometimes they just want to conserve fuel. So they roll down their glasses, and that becomes the end, you know, that becomes their mistake. So the congestion is not just a matter of the beauty of the place. It's also the safety of the drivers and some of the passengers over there. It's not something that we should take lightly at all. Let's remove these people from there. He says from here they are going to Kaneshie, go to Ashaiman, all those places.
I think it's a perfect thing.
They should do it. They should try. They should try and do it. The people who are selling their mothers, they are mostly, when I say this, Nkoku doesn't like it at all. But Nkoku is not here. I'll say it. You know, these are mothers. And these are people who, because of a lack of proper employment, find this to be a good alternative. But I think the execution is a problem. Where they are, they eat there. And this is always Koku's point, which I agree. They eat there.
They do other things.
They're eating, yes, they do other things. They have to ease yourself and stuff like that. How do they dispose of it? And there are no clear, demarcated garbage bins around, or even washrooms that they can dispose of. And so, how do they do it? Your guess is as good as mine. And some of these activities directly lead to the flooding. Because sometimes when they make the rubbish over there, they pour it into the nearest gutter, the nearest drain. And so by the time we are realizing rainy season has come, and then the whole place is flooded. So this one too is connected to the flooding.
That's
and if we don't take swift action on it, and like Rev is saying, sustain it, we'll be back to square one.
Well, Rev, you were going to say?
Yeah, I think apart from what they are doing, I think last week there was something about immigration trying to.
The beggars. Yeah.
You see, it's when you go to a place. I think one time I went to Tama Station around 9 there.
PM.
I got down. I just wanted to get something.
Right.
And in fact, that day I was so sad.
The people sleeping on the floor.
They were a lot. And you ask yourself, why are they in Accra? Because you see them with babies right by their side. And these are the people that you see them on the street.
Yeah.
It's not just, you are not talking about 20 or 30 people. This is about
hundreds.
Yes. So apart from what they are doing, I think the immigration also should still come in to help them, because it's not just about the trade, because some of these people, it's the street that is their livelihood. That is where they survive. They cannot even afford a market or any shop. So either they hawk with toffee, tomatoes, or whatever. So that becomes their only place of livelihood. So if there is an alternative to relocate them, find them, let them go to wherever they are coming from. I think that will also help sustain some of this thing that they are doing.
Well, then that also, when I heard the news about the new city, the president is planning on doing a new, then I thought that, okay, how about we take this new city to somewhere, maybe in the north.
Oh, the north.
Somewhere different, where the idea of business, and all of that, because people are here because of what is going on back where they are coming
Exactly.
from.
Exactly.
And when you speak to all these Kayaye and all of that, they are here for a better livelihood, like greener pastures.
That's the impression we create.
Exactly.
Anytime people from Accra.
Why won't we develop every other region so that they look something close to?
Yeah, I think this one is more of a question of transport than it is about, city development. Because honestly, a lot of the people who have built in illegal structures and places and stuff, many people want to build houses and rent. When I was living in Cape Coast, my yearly rent, the entire year, was 6,000 Ghana cedis.
Oh.
Yes, the entire year. And I was living very comfortably. It was 6,000 Ghana cedis, but in Accra, you go over, you ask DNA how much he's paying for per month.
Per month.
And it's not even like maybe it's like.
Why would you ask me?
Yeah, the how much are you paying? And the reason it's like that is you want to be closer to your workplace.
Yeah.
You want to live at a place where you're closer to school, you're closer to work, and you don't need to hustle too much. Now, imagine a situation where I can live in a place like Kwewu. Even though I work at maybe the ministries, I can live at Kwewu. Kwewu is not too far from Accra.
Yeah.
If Accra was linked to Kwewu by train, it would take maybe
25,
yes, an hour or maybe something of the sort. Accra to Cape Coast would be like maybe an hour or an hour 20 minutes, which is approximately the same distance between your house and your workplace at Tema. Wake up every morning with no traffic, you still take 1 hour to Tema. I mean, in the evening when you're coming back there, you are going home, so there's no urgency. But when you're going, look at where you live at the Amomole area. Live at Amomole, and then you work at Temavako, and you have to pick 3-4 cars every day. You're a traveler. You're a traveler every day. You pick till La Paz, here. Pick, then you go. If there was a good transport system, I think the decongestion would have been a bit more fruitful. And if there were alternatives to the road transport that we have, it would have served us better. The Ministry of Railways, I don't think they really understand the enormity of the responsibility and how significant their ministry
the
is
workers, when was that? That was last week.
Yes, where they've not been paid for 8 months.
They've not been
paid for 8
for 8 months.
8 months, yes.
And there are about 900 workers.
Exactly. I was even surprised to learn they had 900 workers.
I
thought the workers are maybe 15 or 20.
Exactly my point. I thought, wow, 900 people? Where's the train? What have they been doing?
Exactly.
When they wake up to go to work, what do they achieve? What's their productivity level?
See that now. And this could have easily... and again, we have people who are farms in the north, have farms elsewhere. Their produce could get to Accra quicker. They could sell. They could go back quicker. Everything can be dealt with proper transport. And so because we don't have proper... There are certain ministries that could have been moved to other capitals, Sunyani and Co. But if we do, how do we access them? If you post a government official to go and head the ministry at Sunyani, you will see Upper West Regional Minister living at East Legon. MP for Tumu is living at East Legon. MP for Damango is living at Adenta. And you wonder, how are they doing the MPship? The MPship,
they'll say that, okay,
They
gives
tell
them
you they go
easy
there
access to
with
parliament, where they
Exactly
go for
my point.
committee meetings.
Exactly my point.
And all of that.
You see, you want to be close to your place of work. And so if we had trains running from Accra to Tamale, that will take you maybe maximum 4 hours.
It will not even take. If you have a
And
very
it's not
fast
strange. Other economies
a
have
fast
it.
train, it doesn't even take that long.
So, yeah, I think transport is more of the issue than even developing these other areas. If we had easy access to these other areas, it would be more appealing for people to stay there.
We're talking about train. Let's get on with the Sky Train trial.
You are the like you, yeah. It's linking it. I see.
Well, the former CEO of Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, GIF, Solomon Asamoah, who is the first accused in an ongoing SkyTrain case, remains in
this is what they wanted to do in
custody.
Ghana.
That's what they wanted to do in Ghana.
Yes, yes,
Let me confirm.
beautifully. You know, he's still in custody. Last week we looked at this case, and then he was actually asking for bail.
They
but-
granted him bail.
Yes, they did, but
couldn't-
he's still in
couldn't-
custody because he failed
He
to
couldn't
meet
fulfill the
bail
demands of-
conditions. And he's actually in this soup with
Professor Mayor.
Professor Ameyo Kofi. So this is it. This is how we were supposed to fix our lives
Charlie.
with a sky train. Our sky is so bare. There's nothing there.
Oh.
But there's $2 million
Dollars.
gone.
Well, well, for those who don't know how bail works, if the court grants you bail, it's not that you pay the money. When you hear something like 50 million CD bill with 2 sureties, what it means is that this is the amount you're going to pay if you don't show up for court. And the people who have come to be your sureties, whatever they put as collateral will be taken by the state.
Okay.
So, for instance, the 15 million, and the sureties can be
With the land.
guaranteed, yes, with specific conditions.
Properties.
So, in this particular case, the 2 sureties are supposed to present landed properties in Accra. So, you have been granted 50 million Ghana cedi bail, 2 sureties. These 2 sureties should come. It should come with landed properties in Accra, and then you will have the privilege of coming to court from your house. That's basically it. So when you are granted bail, it means that you can attend court from the comfort of your home. If not, then you'll be attending court from Abankuku, from the chest of the government.
escorted nicely.
In lawful custody.
Yeah.
So what that means is that this CEO, which is strange,
Right?
you know, the Archbishop has been talking about friends, like maintaining a good circle of friends. And he always tells us that friends are not seen when you are having a party. Friends are mostly seen when you are in trouble.
Real friends.
Yes, real friends
Right.
are seen when you're in trouble. Are you trying to tell me that this GIF CEO, former CEO, doesn't have any friend, anybody
Who would give up his
who
landed
has landed
properties.
property in Accra? 2 people. Hey. Well,
No, the truth is that if you are my friend, okay, and I realize that
the way I say it is like you
no,
for me.
apart from that, you
No,
see,
let's talk about it.
but the Bible said, "Can 2 work together except they agree?"
That's how we agree.
And there's a statement that show me your friend.
No, show your character.
You're the
So if you are,
going to
if you are,
scandal.
if you are really a friend, I don't think you should be that, I was going to say, insensitive to the plight of Ghanaians.
Oh,
Listen,
I thought you were
when
coming
we
to say
talk
something for the
about
man. Oh, Jale.
this Sky Train issue, you see, anyone at all, I think the minister, they are always traveling abroad.
Yeah.
And if you happen to have the chance of taking this subway or fast train before,
Right.
and you hear that something like this is coming to Ghana,
You're excited.
it should be one of the most exciting news for any thinking or right person. And for you to be fearing that implementation, and you are quiet about it.
But there are details, so maybe.
No, apart from the details, you cannot release $2 million for a project for 4 years, and it's like absolute silence, no implementation, nothing is happening.
So there's administrative.
Apart from the administrative policies, I stand to be corrected, but I don't think that if you are my friend and you are so insensitive to
Right.
this,
So you are saying that the man
Despite-
should be in the jail.
despite
That's
whatever
what
it
you're saying.
is, look, it's 50 million Ghana cedis, so with your land title,
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
So it is money and property that they are talking about here.
Right.
You see, and anybody that should have that amount of money, you could see that is somebody who has
Yeah.
above brother.
I'm sure he has friends who
He has
have
friends.
Yeah.
But to me, we shouldn't, let me say, entertain or cheer or sympathize with issues like this.
Oh.
No, it's I only come to bail you if, for instance, I realize that, oh, maybe you are
might
wrong.
be innocent.
You are innocent. But if you are
No,
really...
it's just so that you attend court too. It's not about your innocence or your guilt.
What he's trying to say is that people would do that for you
If they think you are
if
innocent.
They think you are.
Paul said it in Romans. He said that it's difficult for you to find somebody to give your life. But sometimes for a righteous man, you might even try a bit.
Yes. But even for a righteous man.
So the Pastor should be in a jail. Is that what
No,
We're
really.
not saying that he should be
He should
there,
just-
but he just haven't met. We don't know the details of
Exactly.
the conditions of the bail.
Oh, the conditions are there. It
Well,
says that
two sureties, but probably what if it's the amount?
15
that he
million.
wasn't
So
able to pay.
the properties should amount to 15 million, basically.
Yes,
And
but what
so-
if the properties are not good enough to
Oh, this
amount
man
to
and
15
his
million?
caliber.
Why are you
sure-
thinking for him? Why are you assuming?
It's like Koku not being able to have 20,000 Ghana cedis. Koku and his caliber. Koku is presenting shows everywhere. MC here, MC there. Koku has 20,000.
Koku
Koku
get
on
you.
this note.
Koku get you.
I need 20,000.
Send your Momo number to
My Momo number
your
is-
account
oh.
number, but that's it. Well, talking about affluence and all of that, President Mahama actually is brought up the code of conduct. I want to generally take your view on what this means to you.
Right.
A code of conduct for
Public appointees.
public appointees.
All right.
We've had public appointees,
Right.
all our lives.
Yeah.
Why a code of conduct? What does
I
it
think
to
code of
achieve?
conduct is not anything new.
Right.
Because every institution, every public institution, when you are employed, you are presented with a code of conduct
Yeah.
as to how you should behave.
Even when you go to school, you have perspective.
Yeah. Even when I remember one time when I was teaching, they brought me the code of conduct that as a teacher in this school, you are not supposed to do this, do this.
Right.
And these are just guidance to guide you as to how things are being done within this enclave. So I think it's a normal thing for anyone at all. So
Yeah.
it's not anything strange or new that somebody should be worried about. It's just a guidance. So that at least as a human being, you should know that, okay, you are a public appointee. You have now become a state. Whatever happens to you, a state property.
Yeah.
So this is how you are supposed to conduct yourself. You can't just go anywhere and just misbehave. Your private life is a bit taken away, but
Exactly.
you have decided to. It's just like pastors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just like
Yeah.
pastors.
Yeah.
When you are a pastor, there are simply places you cannot just go
Yeah.
and start eating and doing certain things.
Hey,
True. It's
Jesus.
true.
You
You can't
can't
be
just
eating in a chop bar. You move your shirt and put it on your shoulder.
No.
And you are
So people look
fine
up to you
sweat.
because
it doesn't mean a pastor should.
no. There was. I remember one time I was in short
Hey, Osofo.
and I came out and somebody said, "Hey, Osofo."
You see? The same thing. That's the same reaction I also had.
I was asking, what is wrong with me in a short?
Okay, you don't know.
And later I realized that the person, anytime he sees me,
He will imagine
is
you in
encouraged that, oh, okay, this is my pastor. This is somebody who preaches to me. This is somebody who tells me that it will be well with me.
Yes.
Someone was telling me, if you tell me it is well with me and it is not well with you.
You see?
Yeah.
So you see, so there are a lot of people have a lot of perceptions when you come into those offices. That is why sometimes when you have parties and a minister just appear, everybody is expecting that, hey,
You drop something.
you drop something.
Yeah, like the dollar. Yeah.
Yeah, the laugh. Yeah, the laugh. Man says he begs. Man says he begs.
Okay. But she said that if she meets Mahama, then she'll go with a jute bag full of dollars. But that's just by the side.
Mahama gave the dancer
500 Ghana.
500 Ghana. He told us. He made sure he told us it's 500 Ghana.
500 Ghana
With
cedi.
I think the surprise is that we haven't had a code of conduct up until now.
Yeah.
This is something that should have been enshrined in our
Long
constitution.
time ago.
And I hope steps will be taken for it to be enshrined. Because you can't be a public official and do what you like.
Right.
Recently I saw the mansion of Mobutu Sese Seko.
Oh.
Yes,
Okay.
it's a wild place with animals and snakes and scorpions and rats running around. The whole place has become a waste. Its doors were made of pure gold and extravagance. If you have a code of conduct, it cuts off all such things. And if you read the code of conduct for these public appointees, it's soft too. It's nothing stringent. nothing stringent, you know. So I don't think that this is something that we should complain. It's something we should actually applaud and loud.
Yeah.
And it's a bold step. We hold public appointees to a certain level of, you know, moral standard, but it's never been documented and ratified in this way that, oh, this is a document. If you breach it, this is the punishment, you know. So yeah, I'm in full support of it. I think maybe as time goes on, as things begin to pop up and, you know, we begin to see more shege, we'll update it. Yeah, we'll update it and we'll
That's
include more
very
things that are
necessary.
not even there. Yeah.
Well, so based on that, there was a post on Facebook by Mr. George, no, not Mr. Mr.
SK
Sapon,
Sapon.
SK Sapon,
SK Sapon.
that Sam George has received a beautiful car. They call it top of the range Lexus.
Yeah, it's a
And
2024 Lexus.
exactly. And he's saying, have you seen the video? Have you seen the vehicle?
No.
Oh, no.
And, and he's
Is there a
saying
picture
that
of the-
it
2024
was
Lexus?
given by an unknown individual
Yeah.
to Sam George,
Right.
and that must be probed into. Now, Sam George is also saying that he has to take that off and also bring an apology within 7 days.
Exactly.
Let me actually read. It says, in a letter on Tuesday, May 20th, the minister's lawyers demanded that Sapon remove the Facebook post, issue a public retraction, 2, and then 3, offer an unqualified apology within 7 days. Failure to comply with these demands, the letter warns, will result in legal action, including defamation, a defamation lawsuit. So this is it.
Well, Sam George says he bought the car with an NIB-funded loan. And also under the auspices of the Parliamentary Financial Services. So it wasn't a gift.
Yeah.
And again, if you want to make such an allegation, you better get your facts straight.
Right.
And that is his whole claim. And again, Sam George is one of the most fiery, most...
So he would be extra careful when he's
Exactly.
doing stuff.
Do you think he would receive a Lexus gift and be parading in town? Something as bodacious and conspicuous as a car. Oh, if he wants to do that kind of thing, I think it will be a bit more subtle. It will be a bit more. You know.
Well, we expected that such a thing wouldn't have happened to Sammy Jemfi, but it did.
Oh, yeah, the la.
Wait, I'm just stating the obvious.
The la is like you and Sammy Jemfi have a
No, we don't have a big.
One day when you appear, he has you and say you appear here.
I just give him a hug and say, put my dollar somewhere that people will not see. Probably, yeah, you know.
I didn't say some.
I know, right?
Don't say
They are
some.
not smart. So, well, I wanted to touch on the what's the
This is
name?
the car.
The
Hey, okay.
yeah, it's nice Saturday.
Okay.
Fresh.
You see, these are the
Oh,
issues.
that's a car.
I know, right?
I don't know what I've been driving. I don't know what I've been driving. I think
There
I've
are
been
cars
driving a
and there are
Saturday.
moving things.
You know, these are the issues. Oh, these are the problems that we are talking about. Apart from it being a personal something that he has secured
And it's
a
a car,
loan
oh.
to
Yeah.
buy. You see, it's too early for some of these things.
Right.
Ellie saying it's more
Display of
car.
opulence.
No. You see, you know, the moment you come into public office,
Ha, that's the man.
So you become a reason for people.
Yeah. So,
It's a personal car he's bought.
well,
He said he got a loan. That's what you want to go and take loan to go and I don't know open a business. You want to go and take loan to go and
He
yeah,
took his
the way you're
bike.
smiling. I don't like the smile you're
just be
smiling.
modest with some of these things, though.
This smile you're smiling. I don't like it. What are you trying to say to the
mean,
Honorable
doesn't
Sam
make-
Jatta George?
It doesn't make a lot of sense to want to go for a loan to buy a car. But
To you,
no,
think
to me.
about
To you,
it.
it doesn't make sense.
Really,
If we-
doesn't make business
if he has
sense. Doesn't
everything
make.
that he has, the only thing that he desires is that car.
He
for
will
him.
go
Then,
for
like,
a
should we
loan
probe
for-
into your monthly budget and see some of the things that you use your money for?
That might not have made sense, business sense or national sense.
You would have bought a new bag as if you don't own bag. You buy new shoe as if you don't have shoe. Let's leave some Jatta George alone.
to do his bid.
He took a loan, he's going to pay back. So he will fund the loan and glory to God.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, I wanted us to get into the code of conduct. So there are 10 critical takeaways from the code of conduct that everybody should know, so that at least you are aware when you are reading these posts. First one is zero tolerance for corruption and conflicts of interests.
Right.
So you must avoid any situation where personal interests clash with public duties.
Right.
Yeah, and they are barred from owning businesses that contract with government or using insider information for gain.
Why are we even waiting this long to make such a law?
Significant conflicts may require divestment or resignation.
In other words, for the listeners and viewers, what that means is that you can't go and create a company that executes contracts that are awarded by the
yourself.
ministry
Right.
or the authority that you are
Who's in
overseeing.
court for that? Edu Boahen, right?
Yes.
Something
Edu
like that.
You
yeah.
can't do that. So maybe the government's awarding contracts for, let's say, computers. You want to import
Then you go and
computers.
register a company in your name.
Exactly. Or you have some company
Or
that
your
you
wife.
act that way.
I
Then
know,
your
right?
cousin is overseeing it, then comes to bid
Then
for
you
the
award the
contracts. Then
contract to the person.
you award the contract basically to yourself. Then you go and import the computers. Then you get a little kickback. It's not allowed. It's just not allowed.
Well, that also means that it's not strange. I mean, because the moment he's talking about it, he's been in
means it
government
happens,
because
yeah.
he knows that these things happen.
Yeah.
Well, number 2, mandatory assets declaration, which became a talk of town over some time. Under Article 286 of the 1992 Constitution, ministers must declare all assets, land, businesses, jewelry over 5 million, jewelry, yes, over 5 million.
Why would you have 5
Jerry?
million?
Because of Cecilia Dape's
Wait, exactly. Exactly.
names, so
I'm telling you, like we're making references.
Those are issues because
Dollars,
even the
pounds,
jewelry
and
alone
all
is
of
a
that,
lot
and
of-
jewelries,
It's a lot
yes.
of money, so you make a declaration of it.
Before taking office,
yeah.
every 4 years, and upon exit, failure to comply is a breach of the law.
So, as Koku declared his assets in the DTV.
Why you want to go with this money?
I'm just asking. It's a harmless question.
I know, right? Is there a public appointee? Let me
he's
check
doing
his
public
office.
service.
He's doing public service. Right? And the very third one is no purchase of state assets. Ministers are prohibited from directly or indirectly buying government property. Why? Vehicles, lands, and shares.
Government boy Brian Champo,
Wow.
is he?
I know, right? I
Okay.
know, right? So there are a lot of cases to this. Violators face immediate dismissal. Strict rules, number 4, on gifts and hampers. So this is where we are now. So gifts exceeding 20,000. And I learned
This
in
one
some
is receipt,
countries-
not giving.
Yes.
Yeah, the way I'm reading it with Vim. You don't receive any gifts that is
Well,
more than
I'm just
20,000.
reading. Why do you kill the messenger and not the message?
Sorry, please.
So 20,000 gifts exceeding 20,000 must be declared to cabinet. Ministers cannot use public funds for hampers unless approved by the chief of staff for staff rewards.
Okay, makes sense.
Hampers. Makes sense, right? Number 5, social media and public conduct. Ministers must maintain civility, avoid offensive language, and refrain from undermining the judiciary or other government agencies. Public attacks on institutions could lead to sanctions. Reverend Samuel, why you laugh?
It's like somebody is in direct.
I know.
Direct contravention.
You know, when they were doing this, the vetting for the minister,
Yeah.
you know, and I was sitting there watching the vetting
Whose
of
father?
Honorable Sam George.
George.
And I asked myself, sometimes we have to be very careful.
Hey.
The things we just put on Facebook,
Yeah, on
social media.
He's very active.
He has been putting
Very,
all of this
very
and
active.
attacking
Yes.
judiciary, presidents, and
Now, one of the things that people don't know is that the internet never forgets.
yeah.
Charlie, that's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
My whole heart is
internet never forgets. What happened? I think. Wait, was it same Edu Boahen?
Yeah.
People actually brought videos of him preaching in church.
right.
You know, so and now employers want to get into your social media, try
find
to
out
see what you
you've been
do,
posting.
what you post. Where's your mind at?
Sometimes
Before they
you
give you
posted
the
this
job.
these things because you thought a certain way at the time.
Yeah.
You know, and all of us have a past. So sometimes I think it's a bit unfair. I don't know whether it's the pastor and me talking, but I think it's a bit sometimes too harsh. When you call people's past into you, the person that is saying it. Don't you have a
No, everybody has a past. I
you
was
have a
saying-
voice note
I was
somewhere?
telling-
Your first boyfriend, the voice note.
Don't get there.
If we bring the voice notes now, will we survive?
if we have to buy that voice, we'll go to counterfeit because it doesn't make any, you know. But I mean, the moment you're going into public office, we know that people might have planned their lives, or some people just chance on these things. But that notwithstanding, there has to be some level of responsibility.
Right.
You understand? Even looking at your future, would you be like this
No,
forever?
The question is that you cannot really judge people by their past.
Exactly.
So there are always transformation.
Exactly.
What look at the timeline from Saul to Paul.
Exactly.
A
That's
murderer
exactly what came
to a preacher.
Yeah.
You see, so there is always a time of transformation for people.
Okay.
So if you want to give me a public appointment and you go into 2002, 2001, when I was then
That's not fair.
at school, you say, oh, this guy is this.
I got born
You know?
again in 2020. See, all those, if
So
human being-
you cannot really.
That day, 2020.
So those, I think, it's better we look at what is ahead of us.
Yeah, rather than what's behind us.
Behind us. And it should be based on competence and ability, not really because of
Some
a past
bad
mistake
past.
or whatever the person has done in the past. That is, no, I don't agree with that.
Yeah. Okay. So, would you want me to continue, or we just drop it here? Confidentiality of cabinet documents. Well, certain things should not be in the public space
Right.
before it is. So, leaking cabinet papers is a fireable offense.
Yeah.
Take it to court or not. Some people are on suspension because of that. Documents marked secret must be stored securely and drafts shredded after use. Electronic records require equal protection. The number 7, travel and sponsorship transparency. This is one thing that popped up in the Chief Justice's
Yeah,
case,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So ministers must seek prior approval from the Chief of Staff for foreign trips. Sponsorships from third parties must be disclosed, and retroactive approvals are banned. And then number 8, no influence peddling or quid pro quo. So using one's position to secure favors. Hey,
Yeah.
how would you be able to tell that? I mean, people would want to do things
you
for you
see,
because you're in
it's-
public office,
You know,
right?
it's-
People would want to literally do stuff for knowing very well that you would be
No,
a good
it-
point of
it's-
call at another
At a-
time.
yeah.
What really happens is that it comes to other aspects. For instance, you are going for an interview.
Right.
Then the CEO of the company calls. Okay, he's my cousin, pick him. It puts a lot of pressure on the panel.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I remember there was a time that we went for an interview like that. There was one guy who didn't even attend
But he got the job.
He got a job.
Who do you know?
And
Who knows
knows
you?
you?
I think we met at a certain place. I think there was an old school something. And he was telling me, Charlie, it's not your certificate. Oh. Who do you, after the interview, you left. He said, you should have stayed. He made some calls and 2 or 3 people called and said, give him the job. And that is where the problem is. So that is where people use their influence. For instance, you are going to a firm and the CEO happened to be your close alliance.
But personally,
Or
is
even
there
in-
really a problem with that?
Or even in the police custody.
Yeah.
Okay?
Good.
There are times that you get issues with police and especially you know
big man will
you know a big man and you just call Charlie, I'm here. Oh. And you just make a call, release him. That is what is the issue.
That would
So
be
that is where they use their influence to do a lot of issues.
So does this apply to police people? Because Koku was talking about how most of the trotros allegedly
Are owned by-
are owned by
law
these
enforcement
people.
people.
So you just call them Masayachimio, then
You
they'll
can't sabotage yourself.
exactly. You know, but these are the things that we need to look at. I think that these codes of conduct should go into other quarters.
Yeah, yeah.
It will really help. So collective cabinet responsibilities. Ministers must publicly support all cabinet decisions or resign.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
So if you had the opportunity to speak at a cabinet meeting
And you didn't.
and you didn't, the
you
public
go out.
domain is not where you come and do it,
Right.
which is quite good.
It's perfect.
So if you feel like this decision is a bit too much for your conscience to bear, resign. Don't put yourself under pressure,
Did
and also
Bawumia
don't.
get this before? Anyway, he didn't. He
Oh,
wasn't-
oh.
Yeah.
The
The
lie.
sentence
The lie.
privately is allowed, but public. Well, I'm
was,
just asking,
He said he was the mate.
Average
He was the
Ghanaian.
mate.
Well, but the mate also shares the driver's money.
Well,
Thank
he
you
just
very
takes the
much.
money and says, "Bus stop." Wow. Wole. That's all.
When they increase fare or reduce it, who takes the hit? The mate. Right?
Well, he doesn't determine the direction or the speed.
Well,
I mean-
but even that, you still share it. So we expect that, I mean, in such an office,
Yeah.
you would
Like this one, is it the
exercise-
rain or I mean, why are you?
I'm just stating the obvious, right?
Okay.
Yes, that they will call the average guy. I'm speaking for the one who doesn't have a
Okay.
voice,
Oh.
right?
Bawumia doesn't have a voice. Bawumia
No, I'm
doesn't.
talking for the Ghanaian. And then the very last one, workplace integrity and anti-harassment. Very important. We had a session, this is the Mental Health Awareness Month. That's May, and then that of lupus also. And we started to talk about the role of employers and employees. One of the things that we've been talking about is what happens in the boardroom, how it trickles down to the employees and how these things are carried out. You would be surprised some people lose their jobs because of some of these workplace integrity that some managers do not have. Right? And you don't want to know what is happening probably in parliament and all the places that have lots of offices. So I think that it says ministers must ensure safe, respectful workplaces, address harassment promptly, and avoid appointing relatives to their offices.
Another name has come to your head. This one in there, irresistible.
Avoid appointing relatives. He's my uncle. He works in.
But if I'm qualified, I'm
So
qualified.
that goes to that's another side
Exactly.
It's
So
another
if
side.
I am unqualified and then you use nepotism to fix me,
to it. Yeah.
then that's a problem. But if I'm qualified, then maybe.
Anyway, well, so there it is. So these are the codes of conduct. So the moment you know these things and you see maybe someone in public office, right, doing these things, you know what to think of them. So that's why Sam George is
Coming under heat.
coming under heat, right, for these things. I think that we've touched on the Sam George issue. But real quick, something that happened with the NIA, we have just about a few minutes to go. But NHIA, Damongo, condemns gruesome murder of Bongo district manager. So they brought out a press statement, May 20th, that the NHIA described Mr. Kugri as a dedicated, hardworking, highly respected member of its management, praising his unwavering commitment, integrity, and service to both the authority and the people of Bongo. Now, the executive management said this tragic death is not only a significant loss to his family, obviously, but also to his colleagues, to the wider NHIA community.
Well, the man was, you know how he died, right?
Yes, but I mean, for the sake of the our viewers, you would want to probably.
No, we hold back that information. It wasn't good at all.
Well, they are seeking for justice because I don't know, a gruesome murder.
It was a murder.
Someone-
It was a murder. I don't even know where to start. I don't know who did it, and I don't know why they even treated the dead body like that. It's one thing in Africa. It's one thing to kill someone. In fact, it is even. I think it's in the law. Desecration of a corpse is criminal.
Yeah.
You can't do that. So it's bad enough that they murdered him.
Yeah.
Then they desecrated his corpse as well. That is not on. It's not on. Papa has been saying this thing for the longest time. This issue in Boko is not physical. It's not. And I think we should begin to look at it for what it is. It is not something that we can just talk our way through. Otumfuo is doing his best to make sure that there's and this murder is apparently linked to the conflict.
Yes.
There. So we need to really find out what is going on. You know, there were times when spiritual leaders were sought in history, not even in Africa, in Europe, whenever the situation was so out of hand
Right.
that usual mechanisms that would work are not working anymore. We need to find out what else is at play. And I think it's high time we do that.
Yeah.
This Boko conflict has been going on for more than 10 years. Almost 20 years. We are at
People
the same
losing their lives, traders. Oh my God.
And this is not an ordinary person. This is the National Health Insurance Authority's CEO of the Bongo district. I don't know where he was going, but I'm sure he wasn't walking. He was targeted, he was killed, and his corpse was desecrated after he was murdered. It goes beyond the physical for me. Yo, it does. I can't sit here and pretend, oh, this is a national police. Police should find out. Obvious, police should do their investigation and everything. But we as Christians and citizens of the country must, wake up to the fact that something else is at play here. We don't have to sit on it. Personally, if we fast and pray as a nation, the Bible guarantees that God always steps in when we do that. You know, in the book of Jonah, when Nineveh was prophesied against by Jonah, the Bible says from the king to all the animals, everybody fasted and prayed. And there was swift action. God changed his mind towards destroying the city. I think we showed in harmony with what Otumfuo is doing in the north, Christians, all of us as individuals, let's fast and pray for the north, for this Boko conflict thing to be resolved, because it's really not just a humanitarian crisis, it's a dent on Ghana's reputation as a peaceful country. You know, it hampers all the beautiful places in the north we can't visit, because you don't know exactly what's going to happen to you if you go there.
Even those who live there have to be escorted.
Yes.
It's
Even
sad.
security, some of the security personnel have had to be escorted down here.
down.
So, let's just do something about this.
Right.
Well,
Before we go.
I think I agree with what you are saying. I've advocated seriously that beyond the veil, beyond what we are seeing in Boku, I personally believe that it's something very spiritual, and we can't allow Satan to have a strong
At all.
in such a vicinity, because all that, look at what just happened to the man. It's a clear indication that
I feel like crying,
wickedness and satanic invasion. And this is something that the Christian body should come very strongly at. We should all come together, lift up prayer for the people of such a region. I think the Muslims also should do their same, so that there is that kind of peace within that enclave. I'm really sad with what is up. I was asking myself that, how large is Boku?
It's not that big.
And that is, if I want to go into the argument, it will because I was asking, how large is this community that over 10 years
It's held every other thing ransom.
and I can't just, to the last time I heard the police were rather,
Running away
Coming
from
out.
there.
and you ask
So just
yourself,
go.
what is this? And I think it's high time we, apart from what Otumfuo is doing, I think we should all rally to see that there is lasting peace in such a place.
Right.
Because I don't know who will be the next target. Who knows, one day I'll be sent to Boku.
And preach the gospel.
Or you are sent over there. And
I don't know why I will go. It's like,
So
I'm giving Papa ideas.
I know, right? Well, yeah, so thank you
So let
very
them be
much.
peaceable.
Yes, right.
Let them be peace.
There's a need for the church to rise. Starts with you, starts with me. Spend a minute and pray for Boku, would you?
Yeah.
Because you may never know. That's like, if you never have the opportunity to preach the gospel, you might as well just pray for the people that you never even preached to. Yeah. So thank you very much, Pastor Bernard Addy. And he's a forensic scientist and social analyst, and then Reverend Xavier Demoji. Demoji, what does that mean? Demoji. Oh, I see. I see. Clear the road. No, please. That's not what it means. It's a clinical engineer. Thank you so much for coming through. Yes, he's a traveler, right? Not you don't swim to your destination. You drive to the place. But this has been the preview section of the news. Up next is going to be tech and trends and lots of conversation. We've been talking about today is cultural diversity day. Have you worked with somebody from a different country? Have you touched on something that's from a different culture? How did it feel like? And how can we harness all of that for national development? We're going to be having all those discussions today. Stick and stay. We'll be back.